children is currently taking my Women in Social Action class and asked if I would be willing to come and speak about what rape culture is. What is the meaning of the concept of rape culture? And I started doing research and spent a couple hours doing research and realized I was getting too caught up in reading the scholarship. And I stopped and I said to myself, you know what, I want to go look to see how today people are talking about the meaning of rape culture. And I stumbled upon a blog, of all things. And as a scholar, you should know that I'm like, blogs, whatever. But this blog was really amazing. It's a blog called Shakesville, and it is maintained by a woman named Melissa McEwen, and her blog is for progressive feminists. She even has a policy on what you have to do before you're allowed to comment on her blog, because she wants a really engaged, informed dialogue with folks. One of the entries in her blog is called Rape Culture 101. And in addition to having cataloged in her blog the sort of classic definition of rape culture, she provides, oh, I'm sorry, I don't really like microphones. They're a little too, So in addition to cataloging and providing the classic scholarly definition of a rape culture, she then provides a list of examples, descriptions of what makes the culture that we live in a rape culture. And it's a really mind-boggling list, and I'm going to read some of that list to you. As an educator, one of the things I have learned is that sometimes my knowledge is not the most important knowledge. Sometimes the knowledge that really matters is that which is out there, and what is out there that is creative. And to me, this is a very creative way of trying to explicate the meaning of rape culture. So first I'm going to read this quote, and it's from a classic study called Transforming a Rape Culture by Emily Buckled, Martha Roth, and Pamela Fletcher. It was published in 1994. And in it, they describe a rape culture as a complex of beliefs that encourages male sexual aggression and suggests violence against and supports violence against women. It is a society where violence is seen as sexy and sexuality as violent. In a rape culture, women perceive a continuum of threatened violence that ranges from sexual remarks to sexual touching to rape itself. A rape culture condones physical and emotional terrorism against women as the norm. In a rape culture, both men and women assume that sexual violence is a fact of life, inevitable as death or taxes. This violence, however, is neither biologically nor divinely ordained. Much of what we accept as inevitable is, in fact, the expression of values and attitudes that can change. So from this definition, McEwen then begins to provide a catalog, I call it a catalog, of descriptions and scenarios that flesh out what it means to say we live in a rape culture, to begin to tap into the entrenched nature of this phenomenon, to understand just how deeply implicated in who we are, how we are, and how we relate to and comprehend each other as citizens inside a rape culture. I ask you to listen closely and think deeply about how this catalog applies to your life, sense of self, and relationships. In what ways do these manifestations of the rape culture shape your perceptions of desire, romance, love, and sex? And I would add to this list freedom, what it means to be free and fully in control of oneself. So here's the list. Rape culture is encouraging male sexual aggression. Rape culture is regarding violence as sexy and sexuality as violent. Rape culture is treating rape as a compliment, as the unbridled passion stirred in a healthy man by a beautiful woman, making irresistible the urge to rip open her bodice or slam her against a wall or a wrought iron fence or a car hood or pull her by her hair or shove her onto a bed or any one of a million other images of fight fucking in movies and television shows and on the covers of romance novels that convey violent urges as inextricably linked with straight sexuality. Rape culture is treating straight sexuality as the norm. Rape culture is lumping queer sexuality into non-consensual sexual practices like pedophilia and bestiality. Rape culture is privileging heterosexuality because ubiquitous imagery of two adults of the same sex engaging in egalitarian partnerships without gender-based dominance and submission undermines erroneous biological rationales for the rape culture's existence. Rape culture is rape being used as a weapon, a tool of war and genocide and oppression. Rape culture is rape being used as a corrective to cure queer women. Rape culture is a militarized culture and the belief that that rape is the natural product of all wars, everywhere, at all times, in all forms. Rape culture is 1 in 33 men being sexually assaulted in their lifetimes. Rape culture is encouraging men to use the language of rape to establish dominance over one another, as in, I'll make you my bitch. Rape culture is making rape a ubiquitous part of male-exclusive bonding. Rape culture is ignoring the cavernous need for men's prison reform, in part because the threat of being raped in prison is considered an acceptable deterrent to committing crime, and the threat only works if actual men are actually being raped.